So the remaining part of this laboratory is all optional. You really don't need to follow all these steps because it actually will take some time to do. But if you're curious how you would create your own project that do everything that our laboratory projects do, so these are the instructions. So basically I would close the current solution, create new project, and then make sure that you use empty project configuration. Then you would have to add your source file to it. But the important thing is that you have to specify the location of your project, which matches that location that we already have defined, labs. Right, so this is the location which I'm showing you right here. So if you downloaded GL262 labs and extracted the zip file under CBCC, or in your case it will be something different, doesn't matter, but this is the location. Just make sure that your project location is labs, right? So you specify this to be your project location. For me, this is what it is. This is where your project will be, which of course the project will have its own folder. And then follow these instructions, and then you would go to the source files, which will be an empty space right here, View Solution Explorer. And then basically you can make a copy of this file, lab1, you can add it as an existing file, or as this suggests, you could just create a new file, go to source files, right click, add new item, and add the new source file to your project, and then just copy and paste all of this into your new file. And then the rest of it is showing you configuration properties, the ways to change configuration properties. So you would have to switch to all configurations. So if you go to, for instance, project, you can do it here. You can right click and go to project properties, or you can go to project menu and go to properties. It'll bring you to the same place. And so this takes you step by step to, for instance, change to all configuration. It's important because you probably want to keep your settings for all configurations so that you don't have to struggle with different settings between the debug and release configurations. You can see what's being defined down here, and just use all configurations, and under general right here you'd have to specify the output directory just like I did, and you can copy it from here, right? You can just copy everything from here, but you can see that these things that I suggest you to do, they are already in place in my project. And then under C++, you would have to specify additional include directories right here, and you can edit this by using this little drop down and say edit, and here this is where it goes. You can see that I'm using FreeGlut and glue right here, and you specify this. If you upgrade your libraries, you would have to change the version. Make sure that when you extract, if you choose to download the latest version of Glue, for example, it will have something like 2.1.0, and it'll be a later version of Glue, which takes you to the cutting edge of all OpenGL extensions under the current version of OpenGL. And then you'd also go to the linker properties and make your updates right here. So it's all very similar with additional dependencies, and specify everything as described here. And again, if you just copy and paste the same code into your own main file that you include in your source files, you should be able to compile and run your program. So these are just notes how this whole thing was put together, and you can see both the source code and the settings in Visual Studio Project that allow you to use OpenGL.